Hello and welcome to this Affinity Designer tutorial. I'm going to try and recreate this axe illustration I did some time ago. So hopefully it'll give you guys an idea of how to use Affinity Designer. So yeah, I'm gonna usually sometimes I draw on black, but yeah, this time I'll just start going for it with basic shapes. So that's just to recreate the handle. Easy enough. I'm going to go out, put everything in black so I can see the silhouette and the shape as it's doing. So I'm not going to exactly do this. I'm going to do something similar. There we have our basic handle. I will distress this by making it look like wood later on. This here we have a kind of a heavy piece for the top. Use a basic shape, maybe like this trapezoid, and we'll just flip that. Obviously, it's a piece of metal that would be put on a bit of wood, so it's going to be wider. So we'll do that. Not sure how long I want it, but I'm going to convert. For now, I'm going to convert it to curves, so I can mess around with it. I'm going to just select these two nodes, nudge it down using the arrow tool, the arrow key I should say, and I'm going to nudge each of these nodes over 2 as well, so they're less, so they don't protrude as much. I'm going to get, like here we have a bit of a lip, so let's give our piece a bit of a lip. I think we'll just use the rounded rectangle tool. You'll notice that I'm using the snaps up here engaged, so that will allow me to just snap everything in nicely. I don't have to use the align tool, so that'll be that's a bit of a time saver. These look a little bit, still look a little bit too, like they're sticking out too much, so we'll try one more. No, I'm going to just select, I'm going to do small nudging without holding the shift down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have, match it on the other side. Let's round these off, these nodes as well, using the corner tool. There it is up there, and that will allow, I can select these nodes, and that will allow me to give them bends, which look better. Now, I think it's good, if we're happy enough with those bends for now, I suggest that we convert the shape to curves, because if you start blowing this up as a vector, you may lose your corners. So just break it down, and it'll always be perfect no matter what the size you blow it up to. Let's join our lip here with the other piece, just going up here and hitting the add in the Boolean section. Again, we'll use our corner tool to bend these in to give it more of a organic look. That's a bit better. It's quite long here, so but that would be easy to, I just select the bottom half and I can drag them out, and I will also convert it to curves. So that's roughly what we need at the moment. Let's move everything over a bit. Looking at the handle here, it's pretty basic, so we'll just get the rounded rectangle tool, and we'll do it's too wide. So I'm going to hold down Command. I'm not sure what Command is on a Mac, but that'll allow me to, instead of just doing one corner, if I hold down Command, it will pull both corners out at the same time, which is very handy. I'm going to duplicate this by holding down Option and Shift. That'll give us the handle. I'll make this a little bit wider, I think, at the base. Not for any reason, really more for stylistic purposes. Here, we don't want these exceedingly sharp edges. So let's, now I can't select these nodes because it's still in an original shape from here. So we need to convert the curves, select these two, and we can just hit C to get our corner tool and just make it a little bit more rounded like that. Okay. Yeah, up here we have a little bit of a bevel, so let's steal that, bring it up. Yeah. Again, I'm going to join these so I can go in and get the corner tool. Now, there's not a lot of space here. So if I hit the corner tool, I can only really go to there. It won't let me go beyond this node, but still, it'll make a little bit of a difference. Again, gotta convert to curves to get rid of, to bake in those curves. Might make this a little bit wider as well. Yeah, so the blade is probably the hardest thing to do. I think I'm going to go with the pen tool here, and I'm just going to, there's a slight curve in it. I don't know if the way it kind of, it's an angle, it's not, I'm not sure if I like or dislike that. We can always change it, so I'm just going to use the pen tool for now. Make a rough shape and then join it. That shape has a stroke which is also in black, but I've just removed it now, as you can see. Let's keep, yeah, okay, let's keep it black actually. Okay, so double click in and we can look at the nodes and we can make them a little bit more blade-like. I don't mind if it's not perfect, because you know we're not trying to make perfection here per se. You know, because these old blades were never like absolutely perfect, so I don't mind it having a little bit, being a little bit like bent in places. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that, the way it's bent and slightly jagged. Here, you wouldn't get this type of point. This just would be very unrealistic. So let's select that, hit the corner tool, and just a bit. I'll just take and we'll do it here as well. We'll just get rid of that mad point. Convert to curves. Yeah, that's about right. I think this is probably a bit too long now, so but I can select the bottom, move it up. I mean, it doesn't have to be a perfect. And of course, if we wanted to make that a double-headed axe, we could just do something like this and make the handle longer, but I'm not doing that at the moment. Okay, so we have our rough axe shape here. Seems to be more bent around here, and even this is this is less perfect. This is like nearly like a perfect shape. So we can convert that to curves, and we can mess around with it to make it a little less. So it's a little bit more organic. You can do that for any of these shapes, but you just have to convert them to curves. Yeah. And we can put a few extra nodes in this rectangle because it is a piece of wood after all. So let's put not like it's probably a little bit too. Give it a slight barb. Okay, so we're getting there. But I think that's pretty much everything in the shape front. I could do something like this. Give it some kind of extra point, like a spike, just for using the other side if you had to for some reason. So something like that. Match it up to the other side. Yeah, why not? And I'm just making it look a little bit handmade by not making it absolutely perfect. Bring that over. Right, so I think this top shape, which is all metal, is done. So let's take this here and we'll just join it. And again, we're going to go to our friendly neighborhood curve tool, and we're going to curve these slightly. Oops, I should have selected all of them. Well, it doesn't really matter. That's for now, in fact. Yeah. So just to give it that kind of, again, less than perfect look, and that it's coming from all one piece of metal. Convert to curves again. Yeah, happy enough with that for the moment. So if we were to do some kind of handle, you know, well, we've got the handle there, but it might be done with leather. So we could be doing something like this. And I'm going to make this red for now. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm just going to like mess about a bit, make it not like a perfect, like it's just wrapped around for a bit of grip. Yeah, the mirror, that's okay. Maybe bring that up to here. Yeah, and it's okay that it comes over the black line because it would anyway, because it's a piece of leather that it's going around. But I would like to, for the sake of easy to make it easy to move about, I'm going to just add everything together. I could just group it, but I'm happy enough with that for the moment. So and I'll maybe just curve some of these, so it gives it the illusion that they're actually curving round some kind of three-dimensional object. Yeah, so again, we're not after perfection per se. I think another node, sorry, barbs, another barb down here might be nice. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. I think this piece here should all be one. So I'll take this. Okay, what I'm going to do here quickly is I'm going to use the knife tool and literally just carve that. So this handle part, this handle part here is now separate to this piece. And I'm going to take everything and I'm going to deselect the red part because I don't want to make it part of the handle just yet. And I'm going to add all these bits so this is now just one piece. And I think I'd like the handle to be a bit longer. So I'll increase it, and I'll also just increase this. That's a little bit annoying because it's taken on a slightly different bounding box, which is rather irritating. So I'll have to kind of go in and move these via go in and do them manually. Not sure why Affinity does that. It does that at times, but anyway, it's not a huge deal because so that's roughly. I still think that handle is a little bit small, so another 3. And we'll just make some of the nodes. A little bit longer. Yeah, so that'll do for now. Okay. I'm going to just give this a bit of a raise to follow the shape. Probably that as well, even though you can't see it at the moment. So let's start doing some rendering. And I'm just using the pen tool to quickly trace the blade. I'll show you why in a sec. And again, I don't mind if this is a little bit haphazard. We'll close the shape. And now we're left with a piece of white, which will be, we're starting to add in our shading now. But I still wanted to leave that like nice black outline. Again, don't want it perfect. Maybe just fix that a little bit. Yep. If it looks too perfect, it just doesn't look hand-drawn. It looks like it's done by a computer or something. So, and again, I'll do the same here. Don't need to do the whole thing because some of it is going to be in shadow. And again, we can do this kind of haphazardly. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think I made a bit of a mistake, but we'll get rid of that node and just bend this. Bit of a mistake. Again, I'll use the knife tool to come in here. And I'll do this here because I want to leave some of it in shadow. We'll just remove it like that. Still a bit much, but anyway. Yeah, so that's fine for now. We'll do the same here. You'll notice I'm leaving darkness up here because the handle would leave that part just underneath the metal head. It would leave it in shadow, so I'm leaving that. Right, so, okay, we're getting there. I'll distress this later so it looks like wood. Up here, again, we'll add in I'm going to give it a few jags because, you know, we've seen a few battles. I'll make these bigger because they're not very noticeable at the moment. That's a bit better. Let's make that white for now. Again, back to the pen tool, and we'll do the same thing we did. We're just going to give it some shading here. I'm following the line of this, although it's obviously a 2D object. I'm kind of allowing the shading to have to kind of, or the white area to follow the curve of the actual metal here. Oops. We'll do something here. Obviously there would be shadow here because this is wider than this part, so we'll just about there. Yeah, so we're kind of getting there. We'll need to do some for here. And I want quite a bit of that in shadow, so we'll just there'll probably be some reflection, so maybe if we reflected material we could just do something like this. Boop. Now it looks kind of a bit messy at the moment, but that's fine because we can tidy it up. Sorry, I'm just looking at what we have here and Okay, let's have a look at the wood here and see what we've kind of done. Now I'm gonna we can use the pencil tool to make these kind of, that's too thick, so we can literally just use our pencil tool. I'm using the shortcut N, and we can kind of make a nice organic looking piece for the wood incision. course, I'm doing this all with the mouse, so if you're using a tablet, obviously your pressure settings and stuff here and the length will vary. I kind of like it as is here. A little bit of stabilizer, you know, so it's easy to work with. Well, I find it easy to work with at these kind of, because if the stabilizer is too loose, it kind of goes all over the place. And we're not trying to be, again, do anything super accurate with that for the moment. And I think I'm going to draw, oops, another bit of the wood, and I just use the pencil tool as well for speed. So we're now something like this, and then I'm going to get pencil tool again, and I'm just going to follow the shape with some of the tree lines to follow that shape. So it kind of looks like it's winding around it. That's the beauty about using vectors. You can, if you position something somewhere, you can move it easily enough. Right, we'll leave it at that for the moment. I want some kind of, where the actual kind of blade is sharpened, a way to separate it from the head, as you often see in these kind of blades. There we go. And we'll just round it off a bit. La la la. Kiss my axe. Points if anyone knows who said that. And extra points if you know how it's actually pronounced. Right, bang. So we have our little blade division here. Yeah, let's start rendering it a little bit. So with the N tool, I'm going to experiment with a few. I'm going to basically recreate a kind of a shard for a piece of shading and see how it looks. Like, sometimes it can look a bit weird. Yeah, I'm not happy with that, so let's get rid of it. Yeah. So there's our shard. I mean, these are really easy to create. You can just literally use your pencil tool and just kind of yeah, that's a bit better. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a highlight here. Not sure about that actually. Looks, maybe it's too. I'll think about it. So the lights here. So I'm going to give it a metallic shine here. pen tool, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take this shard, I'm going to flip it, angle it a little bit, and then I'm going to again, I'm just holding Option and dragging. And there's a little trick that if you drag it an X amount or whatever, and you're happy with that, you can hit Command J and it will just duplicate that with the same. But it can look quite machined, it looks like, but we'll leave it there for now. I'm going to continue the shading, the metallic shading here. Use the pen tool to give it a give me a bit of a line here. Not sure about that. Came out pretty badly, but yeah, it's easy to fix. And usually there would be some specular shading from here on the other side, even though it's in shadow. There'd be like refracted light, so something like this. And I'm just roughly trying to follow the shape. I don't really care if it's perfect or not. That's not really the point. At the moment. It's continuing that shot. I don't know if I'm happy with everything so far, because I can kind of change it if I need to. I'm going to get rid of these for the moment. I think they were just perhaps a little bit coming out a little bit too far. Now, I'm sure people have better ways of doing kind of shading, and if you do, please let me know. But I'm kind of this is kind of the way sometimes I might group stuff like this and then kind of do it this way. It's even faster. But you kind of sometimes you have to realign them, etc., or they look kind of odd. Yeah, that'll do for now. I'm gonna bring this down a bit. You can experiment as well a lot. Let's make this a bit thinner, smaller and thinner. I'm just following the. Yeah, it looks quite nice. I'm just following the angle of that ellipse. Yeah, this looks weird. I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, there'd also be some kind of pits and stuff in the steel. Like, we can make it a bit. That will kind of add something to the. It'll just make it look more used and more organic, more take out the less machined. Oops. mean, you can really go to town on that as well, like, but for the sake of the tutorial, we'll keep it relatively. You can also do it in the darkness as well. I mean, we're not looking for anything that's like super accurate either. It's a lot of it is just about creating some kind of illusion of kind of light and dark. I'm not really trying to go real world physics or anything. But yeah, so you can again follow up here using the same technique. Just take your copy one of your little stripes down or your little slivers and do the same thing. Give that just a little bit so it looks like it's kind of raised. Make it bigger. And again, I'm just going to take one of the little slivers, flip it, and we'll do the same thing. Oops. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, we could also do it from here. So it nearly becomes nearly like a crosshatch. And you can make them smaller as you need to. Yeah, I quite like that actually. It is a bit tedious. I would kind of fast forward this actually, but I don't know how, as I'm a bit of a technophobe. I would like to, have all this fancy editing and stuff, but I am just not very good at that kind of stuff, I'm afraid. So for the moment, you're stuck. You can always, of course, fast forward. That's what I would do. Yeah, so I'm going to make these a bit smaller now because they're starting to get lost or poke over. I don't mind a little bit, but it can start to look a bit weird if it. Yeah, that's fine. That gives it a bit extra shading, and we can then go over and find other places to try and raise the wood effect. Maybe it's there. Yeah. Oops. Just use Alt to steal it. So there's roughly what we're after. Starting to look something like what we were. Probably should put some kind of bolt here like I did. So I could just use a circle like this. Here, we'll move this over there and do our kind of bolt here. And convert to curves, because I don't want a perfect circle. Just going to duplicate that again. Duplicate it again. And I'm just going to swivel it around so it looks a little bit buckety. Yeah, so let's see how I shaded it. Okay. Okay, so let's use the pen tool. I'm just going to give it a few quick jags here. Okay, yeah, so it kind of looks raised. And there would be generally a little bit of that specular. I don't like the look of that specular highlight here. Yeah, like this circle is just too perfect. So what we could do is get our pen tool and just do kind of, I'll just set it to black and just kind of just so it's not, it still looks kind of too, looks very even. From a distance, it's not too bad, but I think we'll need. The shading looks a bit weird now with it. So I'm just gonna embed it in a bit, so it looks a bit. Yeah, how do I do it there? Yeah, we'll just. Okay, I think I'm gonna select everything. And I use Control X to see if I've selected everything, and then I just do Control Z. But be careful doing that because you can lose stuff. I know I've been doing it for years, so I'm very au fait with it. But I find it a very handy way of checking to see if I've done my my selections well. And we can, just adding a little bit more in kind of gives it. Yeah, look, that's fine. Now, again, the good thing about vectors is we can take all this. It's a bit of a cheat. I'm just seeing what I need to select. It should be everything, and I'm just going to duplicate it and whack it up here. Move that down a bit, maybe. So you've kind of got some. I don't know. But anyway, for the moment, we'll just leave it. It looks. No, I'm not happy with it. It just looks. I'd need to reshade it, but so let's not. But I don't really want to do that at the moment. Let's add in. Get the pen tool, and we'll. No, I think we'll use the pen tool, and we'll just do the old 2000 AD Judge Dredd visor trick, and what we're going to for a metallic effect, 3 lines. Yeah, 3 lines, and one of them is even thinner. He's too heavy, so bring it in to get it nice and thin. That'll do. I'll put in a little bit of white here at the top, just to make it look a little bit more 3D. Yeah, probably here as well, because you wouldn't get this kind of that type of lighting on the very base. Well, I like the effect as well, so that's kind of, let's kind of move this now because it's kind of interfering with. That looked like a divot. I'm going to use this again. Cheat away. Yeah. Do the same thing down here. As I said, there's probably faster ways to do these things. I've seen people kind of use kind of brushes that mimic, but I just find that you know, it works quite well because I'm so used to doing it. And we can also do it this way as well, as in white that cuts into the black. Like so. And we want that kind of like bit of highlight here, that kind of metallic. Looks a bit weird though. Yeah, I'm just gonna add some kind of shading here to the blade, just to give it a little bit of, to make the sharp edge pop a bit. I did something similar here on the inside as well. Sometimes you do these and they don't seem to work, so you can just, like, again, it's easy to Control Z and just redo what you need to. So add a bit of dimension to this part here. You don't need to do the whole lot. Just that'll, yeah, give a bit of a lip to the blade. And we can do it inside as well. Could do it here. Like, the object now is to kind of somewhat distress the object so it looks a lot more organic and hand-drawn, as opposed to me just using basic shapes, which would have, which would make it look a bit funky or less. Hope I'm not giving you guys vertigo by zooming in and out so fast, but just have to keep checking the thing, or it gets just so you know you're doing it correctly. And yeah, just popping in a few extra details. Yeah, because like with little pits and grooves, things will like raise, and even in areas that you wouldn't think they should. Yeah, I think I'll do something like I did there. No. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it at that. So again, we'll just try and highlight this part of the blade. Yeah. Then we can put in just some kind of like scratches. Try and make them kind of thin, like as if the blade has been scratched several times. Just to add a little bit of interest. And same here, just I mean, you can go really detailed on these kind of things if you wanted to. You could like start really trying to make it look like it's taking chunks out of the metal by doing stuff like this, by adding extra, by adding extra highlights. And then if we go in here again, this looks like the inside has caught the inside of the blade to makes it look even thicker. Okay, I think that's not really working. This is fine, but I think if we make this less, it'll look even. And we can just like add in, we can add in pretend bits of the interior of the blade, like as if things have been kind of chipped, and so stuff like that will even make it stand out even more. Just you could even I mean, it's really, how much you want to, how far you want to go with it, really. And you can just add in random little bits like this. I think should work. Yeah. Again, I'll do it here as well, just to follow the kind of the edge and to kind of lead it into. Yeah, I'm not so keen on that one, but if I make it very small, it'll just look like a divot. Right. So with the handle, I think we would need to kind of, we'll need to, this is obviously going to be white, and then we're going to need to get some black around it. So if we do this, oh, sorry, probably the best way to do this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just to give the impression, and we can knock that right down to the back by using one of the shortcuts up here. There you go, move to back, bang. Curve that bit. And we would repeat the same on the other side. Again, I'm just using the pencil tool. I mean, you could use the pen tool as well, but I think this is the best. And it doesn't have to, it can be very kind of, you can join these if you want, but I'm just not going to bother. I'll move everything to the back as needed. Because having it slightly haphazard just gives it a little bit more character. This looks a bit strange to me, but anyway, let's see how it looks by putting it into white. Yeah, okay, it'll do. There would be, let's do the joins because it's wrapping over, so I'm going to again go back to our friendly neighborhood pen tool. And we'll do so you want to see that kind of overlap. I mean, you can make the whole thing overlap like that, or you can just do part of it. To make it look like a handle's been wrapped around. And then we're going to take one of these, probably make it a bit smaller. Ah, yeah, that's making it pop all right. And I'm just re-angling the stuff as I need to. Oops. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm happy enough with that. Again, if I wanted to be better with these, I would have them following the curvature a bit better. Like I'd be doing this, bringing them in, so you can kind of, it follows the curve a bit. I think I want this kind of, yeah, so we can see the yeah, Yeah, so if anyone who sees this and they have a better way of, quick way of doing it, please let me know. That would be awesome. So I'm going to just put in some detail for the actual leather as well, just give it some kind of Incidentally, I don't use a conventional mouse because I have severe repetitive strain injury. Excuse me. So I have a kind of a trackball. Which I quite like actually. I've kind of decided I kind of prefer the trackball. So I'm happy enough to use it, but it's definitely saved my shoulders. Yeah, I had really bad trouble with my shoulders. Sorry, don't know why I'm coughing. I think that's more or less the axe for now. Might just try and give it a bit of shading from the other side. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And again, you'd probably get your specular highlights, you know, like here as well. A bit there. Maybe, yeah. It's nearly like at kind of some points it feels like you're kind of nearly kind of painting stuff. If yeah, you can be quite haphazard with stuff. I probably as well put in some extra details here just to if you hear any strange noises, by the way, that's my dog in the background going breathing rather heavily. He's fast asleep. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, we could, you know, again, we can add more detail to the wood grain here. You can follow just to give it more detail. Yeah, that looks quite nice actually. You know, if you just add a bit. Okay, that's too big. And again, we can also do that on the interior by giving it a little bit of white to make it look even more, to add even more texture. Yeah. One thing I should say that even though this is in shadow here, there would be bits of wood going in that would be raised, so you would probably have little bits of highlight, you know, so, and that could follow that. Oops. you know, or even up like that. It would just to give it a bit more. Problem is, you could just, you know, you could go to town on these things and just keep adding little bits here and there. Yeah, I think in here the final thing we'll do is, yeah, I think maybe we'll add in, get one of these, and we'll just add in, let's see how it looks. It may not work. Oh, yeah, no, I like that. That will. So basically, we'll just to highlight the handle interior. Yeah, that works well. I mean, again, the shading doesn't have to be like you know, physics accurate. What we're just doing is trying to bring out extra details. Well, that's the theory. And again, I'm not trying to be too even with these. And again, you could bring in another layer of highlight just like this to make it even stand out even more. Yeah, I think it's worth doing that. And now we're yeah, it looks quite chunky there. That's fine. Again, I'd probably finally start taking some lumps out of this as well. You know, because it's been well worn, let's say. You know, just to give it a bit of. And again, it's how much detail you'd do is up to you. That's too big. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit more detailed than that one. So let's, yeah, let's. I think we've achieved what we wanted to in this tutorial. Yeah, so there's the axe design for a TTRPG stock type art. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. I will be doing more tutorials. Now that I see something, I just can't let it go. I'll just give it a bit there, maybe. See, I could just literally, and look, maybe just a bit there, and one there. Stop. No, I'll never. Could even. But anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, I'll leave it there for now, and hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you have any feedback, let me know. I'll be doing some more, so hit subscribe if you're interested. Apologies it was so long, but yeah. Okay, see you in the next vid. Take care.